As the camera pans over a dimly lit room, a faint whisper echoes in the background. The silence is shattered by the creak of a wooden floorboard, and a figure appears in the frame. It's the infamous Annabelle doll, known to some as a harmless toy and others as a vessel for pure evil. But this is not just any doll. This is the real Annabelle doll, and her story is one of terror, death, and the unexplainable. As we delve into the disturbing history of this doll, we will uncover the truth behind the legend and come face to face with the chilling reality of her existence. So sit back, turn off the lights, and prepare to experience the spine-tingling tale of the real Annabelle doll. When the original Annabelle doll terrorized her first owner in 1970, Ed and Lorraine Warren were forced to take her to their occult museum for safekeeping. This is how the true story of the doll began. She is seated in a glass case with the Lord's Prayer hand carved into the glass. A pleasant smile covers her cheerful face, which is hidden by a mop of red hair. A warning that says, "Warning, certainly do not open," is located beneath the case. She appears identical to any other Raggedy Ann doll made in the middle of the 20th century to the uninformed visitors of the Warrens Occult Museum in Monroe, Connecticut. But the original Annabelle doll is anything but commonplace. Her reportedly malevolent doll has been linked to demonic possession, numerous violent attacks, and at least 2 near-death experiences since her first purported haunting in 1970. The real-life accounts of Annabelle have even served as the basis for some recent horror movies. The Annabelle doll that resides in the occult museum of renowned paranormal investigators Ed and Lorraine Warren, the duo that worked on the case, is made all the more spooky by how ordinary she appears, even though she does not share the same porcelain skin and lifelike figures as her cinematic counterpart. Annabelle's stitched characteristics, such as her orange triangular nose and half smile, remind us of toy cars and more carefree days. According to her legend, the first of these iconic hauntings occurred in 1970, the year Annabelle was initially released. 2 young girls recounted the Warrens' tale, which the Warrens themselves repeated for years afterward. As a birthday present from her mother, Donna, a student nurse, received the actual Annabelle. Remember that Annabelle was purchased used from a hobby shop. When the gift arrived, Donna was overjoyed because she shared a home with her friend Angie at the time. The girls' terror of the Annabelle doll quickly increased. Annabelle didn't move much at first, which could be attributed to Donna and Angie moving her by accident. For instance, she might have ended up on the floor rather than the chair. Perhaps she simply fell off. The doll soon began to move more and the motions increased. For instance, she might have ended up on the couch rather than Donna's bed or outside Angie's door just after being brought back to Donna's room. Lou, a close friend of theirs, was quite uneasy about the doll despite its seeming innocence. He thought she was wicked or possessed and that something had to be done to stop her. Yet Donnie and Angie, who held highly liberal opinions, didn't believe anything to that effect and continued to hold the belief that possibly they were to fault for the movements of the doll. The Annabelle doll saga swiftly took a nasty turn. The girls soon began to discover notes throughout their flat. The notes were written on parchment paper, which was peculiar because neither of the 2 girls had ever used parchment paper before. The letters had a variety of messages, but the most frequent ones were "Help Lou" and "Help us." Last but not least, bloody hands were discovered on Annabelle. When Donna returned from work one day, she saw the doll in her customary location on her bed, which was a change, but sadly, she was covered in genuine blood. The red liquid or blood, whichever was present, almost appeared to be emanating from the doll itself. There it was. Before things got worse, it was time for the girls to enlist some assistance in the form of a medium to figure out exactly what was going on with this doll. I just wanted to do a quick thank you for listening. If you like what I'm doing, please like and subscribe to support the channel. The girls in the terrifying doll Annabelle sat down with the first medium, who told Donna and Angie that the area on which their apartment complex was built was once a field. There was once a young girl who was found dead there when she was about 7 years old. Since Annabelle loved the doll and was still in the space where she had died when the doll entered their apartment, their spirits merged. Annabelle was turned into a doll. Annabelle ended up being Annabelle the Haunted Doll, which was unfortunate for the girls. However, Donna and Angie were very loving and giving, and they wanted the doll to stay because they didn't want the doll to be left alone. They felt bad for the poor girl who had been found dead alone in that field. Before the Warrens were contacted, Lou was the one who was attacked by Annabelle. He was the one to whom she revealed her genuine self, although she might not have liked him, or he reminded her of a man who had mistreated her in the past. There were a few occurrences such as nightmares and visions, but it was a physical assault that prompted Donna and Angie to notify the Warrens. When they heard movement in Donna's room while Angie and Lou were together, Donna wasn't at home. They were paralyzed with panic. At first, they thought there was an intruder, but they soon realized it was Annabelle moving. Lou looked into Donna's room, but no one was there, even though the doll was seated on a chair rather than on the bed where she should have been. As he advanced toward Annabelle, he began to experience the creeping sense that something is seriously wrong. As he noticed the succession of claw and rake markings on his chest, which looked like someone had leaped at him and rough scratched him, he was in excruciating pain. He knew the marks had to have been made by Annabelle because no one else was in the room. The strangest thing about these scratches was that they healed right immediately and left no visible scars after just 2 days. The Warren family was then requested. When the Warrens and a priest were led into the flat, they learned that Annabelle's primary objective was to seize control of Donna's soul. A demon, Annabelle existed. She had a bond with the doll. According to the Warrens, devils possess humans rather than objects or things. The Warrens took Annabelle with them once the priest had exorcised the apartment. They both decided it would be best to take the back roads home since they were afraid Annabelle might find a way to cause an accident if they took the main roads. The power steering, the brakes, and the engine of the automobile continued failing, and sure enough, they had car difficulties the entire way home. Once Ed Warren sprayed Annabelle with holy water, the issues temporarily subsided. Ultimately, Donna and Angie sought the help of Father Hegan, an Anglican priest, to purge the Annabelle doll's spirit from their home. Father Cook, Hagen's superior, was contacted, and he informed Ed and Lorraine Warren. The two young women's problems, in Ed and Lorraine Warren's opinion, began when they began to feel that the doll deserved their pity. Instead of a kind soul, the Warrens thought that Annabelle was a demonic entity looking for a human body. According to the Warrens' account of the case, unlike houses or toys, which are inanimate objects, spirits only possess people. A supernatural ghost may affix itself to a location or item, which is what happened in the Annabelle case. To get attention, this ghost manipulated the doll and gave the appearance that it was alive. The spirit desired to possess a human host rather than remain bound to the doll. The doll moved on its own. The parchment paper notes materialized, and Lou's breast bore the mark of the beast, which the Warrens immediately recognized as evidence of demonic possession. The Warrens then asked Father Cook to perform an exorcism on the apartment. Then, in the hope that Annabelle's demonic rule would finally come to an end, they carried her out of the apartment and to her ultimate resting place in their occult museum. As the two arrived at their house, Ed placed the doll on his desk with the hopes that she would be secure there for a while. She soon proved to them her true character. Many times Annabelle was observed levitating up above the desk. Soon that activity subsided and ended, leading the Warrens to believe that the devil may have gone quiet. But it was soon discovered roaming around the house and other places, and whenever the Warrens would put her in one location, she would then be found in another. The priest was summoned by Ed and Lorraine, but he didn't appear to take it seriously and told Annabelle that since she was only a doll, she couldn't harm him. On that same day, he got involved in an automobile accident on the way home. The brakes failed, the car overheated, and it was written off. The priest managed to survive despite being seriously injured. In the closed glass case the Warrens constructed that was designed to prevent Annabelle from escaping and stumbling around their home, she is still alive today. On the case, there's a cross and the words "Do not touch" written on a sign. Several claim to have observed Annabelle pacing the case as she waits to escape. Thank you for listening, and please do help the channel with a like and subscribe, and also put on the notification bell so you get notified whenever I drop a new video. Drop your comment in the comment box and let me know what you think about the story. Also, You can let me know if you have any stories you would like me to talk about next. Until next time, take care and stay safe.